live, not live. Oh my gosh. I usually do this with Rob 741. Um, I can tell now I need to use headphones. Oh, this driving me crazy. I know I can fix that. Hold on. Here we go. Stand by. Let me turn my. Ooh. No, that didn't work. Maybe if I turn this off or down. There. I turned the audio down. Now the question is, now maybe maybe the audio is coming from my other computer. Okay, I want to turn this audio off. Okay, I turned the audio off from my other computer. I'm monitoring my live, but it's delayed, of course. Okay, I want to turn this audio back up. There. Now, Brian, I need your help. Right now, and again, there's a delay. Right now, is the video good, and is the audio, my audio, strong enough? Let me know. And then we will proceed. Otherwise, we'll forget this whole fiasco. And the main thing was, again, today, shortwave listening is pretty good. It's almost 5 o'clock here in Clearwater, Florida. And you can see there's a lot of signals there. Hopefully you can see there's a lot of signals there. Let me fix my other screen. The problem with monitoring the live stream on my other computer, the chat is down about 3/4 or about a quarter of the page. So the video that's being transmitted, I got it chopped off. So I can't see the full screen, and I don't know why this is. And I want to do the chat side by side. Pop out chat. Pop out chat. What is that? I have to think what that does. Okay, now let's put the chat over here, which is covering most of my screen. And I can't move it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I can see. Okay, where'd that go? Okay. Brian, the video is looking great. Your audio is also great. Well, thank you, Brian, for the help. Like I say, I usually do this with Rob 741, and he does all the controls and directing and all that stuff. So I thought, I'm going to try this on my own. If it's a failure, it's a failure, and I'll delete the file. But I thought I'd try it on. Again, I didn't set up a schedule. I'm just going to try it. And what I'm going to try, or what I'm trying all right, is just scanning the shortwave bands right now. And I have picked, this time, SDR-Console. I like the look and feel of SDR-Console rather than SDR-Uno for my RSP devices, which I'm using the Duo right now. And I've got my G5 RV antenna hooked to that. The RSP Duo gives me a lot of other options SDR-Console doesn't, and vice versa. Like, for instance, in SDR-Console, I've got this frequency database. I get the wrong mouse. Jeez, down here, which will show me, if I turn it on, it'll show me the stations that are in the database. This database is a couple months old, that are on in this frequency range. So I think I'm listening to Radio Romania, because there it is, the frequency, Radio Romania International, broadcasting in English from Romania from 2130 to 2200 UTC. So it's going to go off pretty soon, I think. So let me turn the volume back up so you can hear it. Maybe. It's degrading a little bit. On how relationship evolve in terms of prices and say what you're happy for. Also during the night of review, the front is yeah, I like that was really good. 30 minutes when I started. Not so good. I like this option with changing, very easily changing this waterfall colors just by dragging this thing up and down. And then of course you can change the overall color spectrum in another option, which I'll appear under style, I think. And then I like this, the spectrum display. The thing is, with SDR Uno, it's got so many other windows that you can have that this spectrum and waterfall becomes kind of small. Now you can change it, of course. I mean, that's the thing about both of these software packages. They have a bazillion options and changes and everything, and I just barely know how to use it. And that was one of the things I want to do, is I want to do a live stream and get inputs from my viewers on these programs and how to use them better. Another thing I like about this one is these options here. So you can just use a slider to move the display up and down. I'll show you here. See there? So you can put it down close to the bottom. Same way with the high, you can move that. That's really adjusting the scale is what it's doing. And then I like this option where if you punch this button, it puts the frequency that you tuned. Let me. Oh, it's up here. I was going to say, what, I'm missing something. Okay. Where is? Okay, get up there. There it is. There's the frequency. So, if, for instance, if I tuned someplace over here, I can hit this button and it puts it in the center. I like that. You can do that in SDR Uno, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't work as well. I like the zoom control. Nice and easy to use. And maybe it's just because I've used SDR-Console a little more than SDR Uno. Now, on the other hand, on the other hand, I got 5 fingers. SDR Uno has that scan feature, and I really like that scan feature. And I'm hoping they'll add a few of my suggestions to the scan feature. All right, let's see how we're doing here. We've got, I thought I saw it someplace. We got 9 people watching now. Quick review. I was just playing with my RSP Duo from SDR Play. And again today, just like yesterday, the band conditions are better. Now, the station I was listening to just disappeared, but maybe they went off the air. That could be. Because it did say down here, whoops, wrong mouse, that on this frequency, they only broadcast from 2130 in English to 2130 to 2200. And Alexa, what is the time in UTC?
The universal time for weather is currently February 2nd at 9:58 p.m.
9:58. So So 958 is 2158. So yep, that's it. I guess they went off the air on this frequency. Now we have another big one here, which is probably in Cuba.
21 Berkshire Lane, Berkshire, 21 Berkshire Lane, number 263 in Sky Valley, Georgia, 30537.
This has been Truth to Ponder with Bob Bierman. To find out more, visit our website, truth, the number 2, and the word ponder.com. That's truth, the number 2, ponder.com. Truth to ponder, shining the light of truth in a darkening world.
Okay, we can listen. I think they just went to Spanish. Let me kill that. Don't have music. And there are also more stations sometimes than can be shown on the screen. So you have to scroll up and down. Oh yeah, there's a lot more. At 5.950. Let me turn the audio back on. They're still playing music. I don't want that. Let's just go to this station here. And then I'll digress for a minute.
Señor quisiere, y si viviéremos, haremos esto
So
o
we're at
aquello.
6115.
Mas ahora os jactáis en vuestras soberbias.
And
Toda jactancia semejante es mala.
that
El
sounds
pecado pues
Spanish.
está en aquel que sabe hacer lo
Could
bueno
be this
y
one,
no lo hace.
which the transmitter is in the
Capítulo
United
5.
States.
He allá ahora, oh ricos, llorad aullando por vuestras miserias que os vendrán. Vuestras riquezas están podridas, vuestras ropas están comidas de polilla.
Hey Keith, I'm just experimenting with doing live streaming. I hadn't done this in a while, and I usually, whoops, I'm so far away from the microphone, you can't hear me. I usually do streaming with Rob, 741 channel, and he does all the hard work of doing the streaming part. What is the best time for AM and shortwave to do DXing? Yes, the best time, if you can pick a best time, is late afternoon, evening, and early morning before sunrise. That's the best time for me here in Clearwater, Florida. One finger, thank you. Good to see you. I'm just experimenting here. I'm trying to do a live stream while by myself. This is a little more difficult than I thought it would be. And I did not announce this or schedule this. I was just playing around with my SDR play, and band conditions seemed to be good again today like it was yesterday. So I thought, let me just go on the air and get comments from whoever happens to stop by about their experiences with shortwave this week. It has really jumped up as far as signals, and I don't know why, because the solar flux index is like 73, so that's not contributing. One question, the microphone I'm using on this computer is quite a ways away from me. Quite a ways. I can, right now I'm about 12 inches from it. So I don't know how strong my audio is. Maybe I need to move the microphone even closer, which is where I typically have it when I'm using this setup. This is totally different setup than I normally use. But this is the computer that I run my SDRs on because it's much more powerful and it can handle the software and stream or record at the same time. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name, but the question about decoding DRM, I believe, and I never have used it, I believe, for instance, this program, which is SDR-Console, will decode DRM. Well, I know it will. I've done it before just to play with it. And I believe SDR Uno will also. I'm not positive about that. I've never tried it on SDR Uno. I have tried it on this. Matter of fact, I can see. Oh, can I find it? I doubt if I can find it because I use it so seldom. No. It's here somewhere. I just have never used it recently. But there is an option somewhere under these thousands of options to do DRM, and it displays up in this area the decoding. I don't see it right now. So, sorry. Yes, the answer is yes, but I don't know how. Thanks, Keith, that you can hear me. Like I say, I should have put a set of headphones on so I can listen to the broadcast myself, but it gets a little confusing because when I do that, when I'm watching it on another computer, as you are, there's about a 15-second delay sometimes, and that just drives me nuts. So that's why I'm asking the people that are in the chat to keep me abreast of how things are sounding. Okay, let's see what else we got in the chat. Yeah, one finger. That'll do it. As long you can use that, a long wire running around your kitchen, as long as you don't have too many devices causing RF, like I have in my office that I'm in right now. I have a modem, I have a switch, I have a router, I have like 6 computers running right now. I have 3 or 4 tablets. I have my Echo Show. All those things are running and causing noise. One of the biggest noise contributors in my setup is my mice. They are very noisy. But that's why I use outside antennas with the antenna signal is brought in through heavy coax cable to keep that RF out. Okay, I'm looking over here watching my broadcast on my other computer, and wow, the broadcast is delayed a lot because I haven't touched the screen in a minute or so, and yet what I'm watching is where I was doing something quite a long time ago. Now, what could have happened is I had stopped it, and now I'm behind. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, let me see. Let me catch up here. There we go. Now I'm caught up. Okay. Also, the setup of doing live streaming on YouTube has changed considerably since the last time I've done it. Now, the way Kevin and I do it, 741 channel, is we have been using Zoom. And so we haven't been doing streaming via the YouTube streaming option. So this is kind of new to me. I haven't done streaming like this in probably 2 years. And I'm struggling a little bit, so bear with me. Now let me look in the chat here and try to catch up. Okay, I'm caught up. Got 16, 17 people watching. That's very good for my channel, especially since I did not schedule this. This is just a last minute. I was listening to my SDR and I was getting some good signals on shortwave. Again, this is the second day in a row. And I thought, well, let me just try streaming. I need to get back to streaming. Kevin's pretty busy, 741 is pretty busy right now, so we won't be doing any live shows anytime real soon. So I thought, well, heck, you need to get off my duff and learn how to do it again. So that's what we're doing. I'm looking for inputs from my viewers. Again, I didn't schedule this. I apologize for that. I'm just kind of wing it. What I'd like to do is to use this streaming option so that it's pretty much real time and I'm getting real time feedback, is I'd like to schedule a show using different radios in, for instance, analog radios and SDRs. And on the SDRs, using different software. Like there is at least 3 major software packages, all of them free, that will control a SDR Play SDR. This is one of them, SDR-Console. Of course, there's SDR Uno, which is provided by SDR Play. And I kind of just scratched the surface of these programs. They have so many options that I got a lot to learn, and I think I hopefully by doing these streams, next time I'll schedule it, is get inputs from my viewers. Like, what is the, what have I got set up wrong here? Let me go back to the home page. What have I got set up wrong here? I notice kind of my default setups for SDR-Console and SDR-Uno. SDR-Console seems to be more sensitive on the shortwave band. And it's probably due to some setting that I've got. Right now, I'm using the SAM, synchronous AM option, not the AM option. And we can turn the audio back up for a second or two if they're not playing music.
Del corazón que está encubierto en incorruptible ornato de espíritu agradable y pacífico, lo cual es de grande estima delante de Dios. Porque así también se ataviaban en el tiempo antiguo aquellas santas mujeres que esperaban en Dios, siendo sujetas a sus...
Now, can you hear the radio audio? Let me know. The St. Louis DXer, hi, hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. We're just experimenting today. I want to get back into live streaming, and 741 channel, Rob, usually helps me, and he does all the hard work of getting the streaming going and stuff like that. He's tied up right now and will be tied up for a while. So I thought, well, I'll just try it on my own. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying it on my own. This is just an experiment. And if someone will let me know if you heard, and I'll turn it back on again for a little while.
Y sus labios no hablen engaño. Apártese del mal y haga bien, busque la paz y sígala. Porque los ojos del Señor están sobre los justos y sus oídos atentos a sus oraciones. Pero el rostro del Señor está sobre aquellos que hacen mal. ¿Y quién es aquel que os podrá dañar si vosotros seguís el bien?
Okay, let's go up the band because it's getting later in the afternoon, and usually later in the afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida, things get a little more active about 9 megahertz and above. Okay, now I'm going to have to adjust because the noise level is lower. So I'm going to have to adjust the low. Get it back on the screen. And I need to adjust. Let me go to auto here to adjust the spectrum. Do it the easy way. And we got some strong signals. There's one right there. And down here, I've got the database loaded so you can see what it thinks is being broadcast. And let's turn the audio back on.
Clock is 1:15. Let's play it through YouTube.
The audio is kind of low there. The signal looks pretty big, but the audio is kind of low. Boy, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. But thanks for the loud and clear on the audio from the radio. I keep leaning back in my chair, so the audio from me, I get too far away from the microphone. So let's go on. This looks like a, let me change this a little bit. Nope, wrong way. There we go. This is a big spike. What the heck is that? WCR, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, that makes sense.
Christ's body is not edified, comforted, or learning, understanding anything from the prophecies,
look at the
and Christ Jesus is not glorified, then the prophecy cannot be of the Lord. Because if it's true prophecy, number one, the main thing is it will come to pass as
right. Now I can use
God
this button here to recenter the screen on that frequency. There we go. Now I can see another one here. I'm all frequency. Music. Let me kill that. It's music. Don't think it's any of these. Now I can say this is not showing everything. I have to scroll it. Okay, there's the bottom. Yeah, I guess it was showing everything. I don't think it's any of those. Sounded like Spanish. It's 9.42. We got some huge signals. I don't know what is going on with shortwave these past couple of days, but it's in the afternoon, it's just booming in here in Clearwater, Florida. I mean, those signals are huge. Try this one over here. Another big signal, and says it's Radio Martini. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's just listen here.
Había otros marcas, estaba Norton, que era muy popular también. Y que también existió un mercado inglés, que era el mercado Vandermeer Motors, y la distribución de otras motocicletas de Europa con motores ingleses, que representan...
Porque hay muchas veces en donde el comprador quiere ver físicamente el producto, quiere tocarlo, no le basta simplemente con las especificaciones técnicas.
Imagino que hay sectores más afectados que otros también, ¿no?
Bueno, en la exportación, cuando hablamos de exportación, estamos hablando de exportación de bienes y servicios. Y el turismo, pues bueno, es un claro afectado. Es decir, la situación del sector turístico en España y en otros muchos países, pero especialmente en España, es catastrófica. La caída de las ventas, ¿no? El descenso tan brutal que ha habido del número de turistas que han venido a España por restricciones a la movilidad. Y otros muchos, ¿no? Todo lo que es...
That's the beauty of listening to shortwave, is sitting trying to figure out what you're really hearing and where it's coming from. I'm going to try to run SDR Uno. Okay, so we're going to try to switch. This could kill the whole works, but here we're going to close this. And you should see you should see this. Okay, now I need to hide that, and I don't want that, hide that. And there's SDR Uno. I'll load that up. Now, I like SDR Uno also, and as much as SDR-Console. One thing I really like about SDR Uno is this scanner function, where you can load up a database. And right now I'm selected the EIBI above 5 megahertz database. And then I can say scan. And now it's so now it's scanning. And you can set up the parameters for the scan. I'll show you in a second. Okay, let's pause here. And if you select scanner configuration, here's the things you can set up. This is, I'm in the memory scan mode. So it's scanning using this memory panel here. So these frequencies here. And you can set the whole time that it stays on a station, the threshold at which it will stop. You can use the option, wait until a signal goes away. Display the thresholds. Here's the threshold right here. One's this threshold here, and one is the squelch threshold, which is down here. You can save to the memory panel. They turned that off, which is a good thing because you'll mess up your memory panel. And you can continuously to loop. So those are the options in this mode. There's also a range scan. I'm not going to show you that right now. So we can go back to scanning. I'll turn the volume up some. So I started way down at 5 megahertz, which this time of day gets a little noisy. Okay, get off the music. Gotta kill music. Okay, move on to the next one. Now, what I can do, let me stop, pause. What I can do is I can load the plugin Fran. Load plugins, and then I have to load a database file. I'll use this one here. And now it displays the stations on the given frequencies. And I need to zoom in to kind of spread this out so you can see it, read it all. Okay, so it's saying right now the frequency I'm on could be one of these stations. So we'll go back to scan again. You'll see it move. Okay, there it stopped on another one. And this is very convenient too. I'm kind of, let me stop this. I'm kind of mixed here because I like this graphical format of the stations, but in SDR-Console it gives you that database with a lot more information. So depends on what you like. Yes, let's see. I think they're talking, so I can turn it. Yeah. I'm guessing this is WWCR.
There's very little difference. Especially the New Testament. The page of God's law.
Now in SDR-Console, it shows that database. It would give me more information, like what time a broadcast is on, what language, and where the transmitter is. I like that more than having this nice, very nice graphical display. Let me check the chat room here. I'm kind of falling behind. Dick Powers retracted his message. I wonder what that was about. I guess it wasn't fast enough to see it. Green Bean 78 wonders how clear the WWB time is. Probably 10 megahertz would be the best right now. And I think, now that I've stopped the scan, I think I can change the frequency. Yes. So let's go to 10 megahertz. Oops, wrong button. And we have a pretty good signal there. We'll listen to it. Oh yeah, it's booming. Thanks, G. Bryden. That's an input I was looking for because my microphone is a little far away. Let me see if I can move it without knocking it over. I normally don't broadcast to YouTube with this setup. This is my setup for using my SDRs because it's a much more powerful computer and it can run the SDRs with no problems and it can do streaming like I'm doing with no problems. But the microphone I have on this setup is, number one, it's a little far away from me, and number two, it's not as sensitive. So I've moved it, and maybe my mic is a little higher. Yeah, I've really, as I say sometimes, gone to the dark side, and I really prefer SDRs now to analog or standalone radios. And the SDR Play products is a good value. They work very well. They're not too expensive. You can get the and don't quote me on this, you can get the RSP 1A, which is now their lowest price one. They've done away with the 1 for about $125 in the US, about that range. I have the RSP 1, the RSP 1A, the RSP Duo, and the RSP DX. The RSP DX does the best for shortwave, at least my experience. And I have that set up down in my Radio Shack, and I have my loop antenna connected to that, which is my best antenna now. So this is not my best setup. This is the Duo, and it's my old G5 RV dipole antenna. So it is a pretty good job, but if I was downstairs using the RSP DX and my loop antenna, it would be even better. But it's a little cold in my non-heated workshop right now. It's 52 degrees outside, and it's probably 53 in my workshop. So that's why I'm up here. So yeah, WWV is booming in right now on 10 megahertz. I can try 15 just for the heck of it. Not much there. 20. Nothing there. And it's, you know, I got a lot of variables here. I got my antenna. I got my coax. My coax for this antenna, believe it or not, is like 35 years old. So it needs to be replaced. But I can't get on the roof anymore. So I have to get somebody to get on the roof for me. Let's go down to 5. 5. Nothing there. So 10, which is normal for me right now, this time of day, is the best, and it's booming in. So let me look at the chat again and try to catch up. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I appreciate everybody that stopped by because I didn't schedule this. I was just playing around and listening to Shortwave since conditions have been good the past 2 days. And I thought, well, let's just go live. Let's try to go live. I haven't done live streaming by myself in years. I've done it with Rob, 741, and he usually does all the controlling and all that stuff. So I'm pretty rusty. And YouTube streaming has changed a lot since I used it like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm relearning how to use that. I didn't realize when I started to stream that I was actually going live. I thought I was going to be offline, and then all of a sudden I see somebody in the chat room, and I go, uh-oh, I'm live. So bear with me. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm starting to lose my voice, and I kind of run out of things to talk about. I really appreciate all the comments in the chat that have helped me get this set up again. And I will schedule a live stream ahead of time, like at least a day or two ahead of time, so you know it's going to happen instead of just this instantaneous thing that just, it's probably a bad time of day. I don't know a good time of day because my listeners are international, so they're all in different time zones. Let me ask you, the people that are in the chat or the people that are watching, where you're at, just in general, just like state or whatever, country, whatever, and what would be the best time for you and day to listen to a live stream. If you can give me that information, that'll be very helpful. Matter of fact, I'll put that as a comment question to this video if I release it. So let me hear from you. I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and then I'm going to call it quits. Let me see if I can turn the WWV back on. Get a little noisy.
Coordinated Universal Time.
Now, I don't know if I missed it, but usually there's a female voice, like it's indicating right here, that's broadcasting from Hawaii. And then the male voice, which I heard, comes from Colorado. If I can hear the female voice, then that says reception is really good. So I'm going to give it a few more seconds, and I know I'm going to look at the chat. So let me take this off of mute. Here it comes. Nope. Matter of fact, that time I could barely hear the voice, or the male voice. Green Bean 78, you're in Georgia, near Chattanooga. What would be a good time for me to go live? Schedule it in advance. One Finger says after about 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. So noted. I don't know if Saturday would be a better day. Rob and I, when we usually do ours, we do it on Saturday, early Saturday morning, like 8:30 Eastern time. Okay, thanks, Green Bean. So looking at 6 p.m. would be the best time so far based on 2 inputs. And I think I'm going to wrap it up. This was kind of just a spur of the moment of trying to learn again how to do streaming on YouTube. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and watching. Again, if you watch this show, if I post it, if you watch this show after the fact, please leave a comment on when for you it would be best for me to do a live streaming show. One Finger says Saturday morning is good. Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. Saturday morning, like Rob and I have done in the past. So I'm going to wrap this up if I can figure out how to. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay.